going on, guys? Hoping you're doing fine as I am, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are gonna be talking about another episode of how to save money. First of all, I'm gonna start by saying I always have two savings accounts personally. The first one is my savings account for emergency fund, and then the second one is a savings account. In the previous video, I talked about how to build an emergency fund, and I told you guys the importance of an emergency fund. The reason I usually have an emergency fund account is because I want to avoid touching my savings account. It saves me in case I have an emergency. So you always need to have two savings accounts, the emergency savings and the savings account. And when you want to start your journey to savings, you always need to start with your emergency funds, and then now you can build your savings account, because your emergency funds prevents you or makes you not to use your savings fund account. But then you do not have to pressure yourself. You can start by saving little by little, and you can always start from where you are. I told you guys how I get to save my emergency funds. Most of the time I save them from my chamas. In the previous video I explained to you guys how I go about that, and today I just want to tell you how now I get to save in my savings account. Most of the time my savings account is actually the money I get from daily expenditures and the money I save from my daily expenses. I'll just briefly tell you guys how I go about the two savings account. For the emergency funds account, I usually deposit money, so it is the money that I keep depositing and depositing. And since it is an emergency fund, the money is not usually locked. That means I can withdraw the money anytime. But for my savings account, I usually at the beginning I used to save money that is withdrawable, but then I realized I'm not actually achieving any goals, because I used to withdraw this money anytime, even for the smallest reason. Guys, I would withdraw even to buy data, you know. So I decided I need some financial discipline, and so I sought out saving in a circle. So what I do, I usually save my money in form of shares. So it's like I buy shares in that circle and I deposit. Another advantage of doing that is at the end of every year you get to take dividends. So it's like you're not just putting your money to sleep there, your money is gaining interest. I remember last year I had, I think, around 23,000. I was starting to save at that time, and the dividends for that year, I think I got around 3,000, which was good, you know. So it means that was more than 10%. I don't know about this year, because the shares usually, the percentage usually increase and decrease with time. But I would advise you guys, before you can choose a circle that you want as your savings account, make sure it is a circle that is stable. It's not going to, you know, haita sambaratika anytime. So as you choose the best circle, a stable one, the one that you can trust with your money, because girl because you know what would happen in case of anything. I've seen circles zikianguka, so please choose the right circle before you can start saving. So now, because my emergency funds are usually deriving from my chamas, now for my savings, I usually get from the daily expenses. I save money from what I should be spending each and every day. The number one thing, if you want to save money, is to budget. Of course, you need to sit down, look at your finances, see what is coming, what income you have at the end of every month. If you are a monthly person, like if you have a salary, if you're into business, what do you get each and every day? Budget for that money. Make sure you include all your expenses, and then now deduct all your utilities and all your bills, everything you spend each and every day, and see what you're going to remain with. So I also have a video on how I budget. You guys, I'm going to link it here so that you can check it out. And then in that budget, make sure you also include how much you will be saving, how much will be going to your emergency funds, how much will be going to your savings account. If you have a loan, how much you're going to pay the loan with, how much you will be using to invest. Just make sure that you've put everything in that budget. The number 2 thing I always do is to cook at home, because I realized eating out usually has a lot of expenses. You get to eat so expensive food, yet it is not usually balanced. And some of these foods you can cook in your house with the same amount and probably eat that food for more than a day. So I just usually utilize every opportunity I have to cook in the house. It is better to refill gas every time ikiisha than to eat out each and every time. And also another thing, I realized since I started cooking at home, I don't even like fast foods. That's the funny thing, guys. You get used to doing it and you just love it. Another thing, if you want to save money, you need to be buying your shopping in bulk. So how to achieve this? First of all, you need to practice meal planning. So for me, sometimes I can write what I'm going to be eating for that entire week. Where I'm staying, there usually market days. So I shop on market days for all the things I will need that week, which saves me, because you find that you will be buying so much at a cheaper price. But if you buy, maybe it's vegetables, you buy each and every day, kitungu moja moja, carrot moja moja, you don't save anything. So you can try to meal plan and see what you will be eating in a week or in a month, depending, and then buy in bulk. You're going to find you're saving so much. Another thing that helps me save money is comparison shopping. I know this one is hectic for those people who love quick things, but if you're serious about saving, you need to try comparison shopping. So what usually happens, I can compare prices in different stores, because I realized some supermarkets are more expensive than others. So take your time, maybe when you're free on Sundays, if you just decide to go on a nature walk, ukitembea ukiranda, go and compare the prices in different shops in those supermarkets and see which place will save you more money. And also, in case you have your grocery stores and all those, compare them. Usistick place moja. If today you buy here, next time go and see how much the same item costs in another grocery shop, and keep on comparing. Unaweza kuta huyu anaweza kuongeza, huyu haezi. Like, compare different vendors and see which one you will save better, because even if you remain loyal to a person and hata hawakuongezi, like, what value are they adding to you? Another way I get to achieve my savings is through shopping second-hand items. What happens now here? For things like clothes, I am usually comfortable with buying second-hand, and also shoes. Guys, you will realize that most of the shoes you buy locally, usually they zinaharibika very fast. So what I realized is that I can actually buy a second-hand shoe that will last me 3 years or 4 years, nikiboeka naitupa. Some of these things that you can actually wear second-hand, try buying them. And it's not just clothes, even items like furniture. Some furnitures are good. You find they are on the streets wanauza meza nzuri kabisa, and it is in a good condition. Take advantage of second-hand items that are not bad, that you can actually do with, and buy them. That's what I usually do. Another thing is learning to do things on your own, like DIY. Try to do DIY repairs, do them by your own. Learn to do some of these small tasks. I remember when I was starting to live alone, I would call an electrician hadi kuniekea bulb. Like, I did not know some of these small things, and it would cost me so much money. So learn to do some of these things on your own. There are so many things I've taught myself since I started living alone, because you find that when you call someone to do those tasks, you have to pay them and all that. Hiring a person is usually costly. I always hire a person when I cannot. Like, ile kitu tu siezi fanya, that is when I can now consider hiring a person. For example, maybe plumbing and all those big things. But the small things that I can do by myself, I always do them. Another thing is to use coupons and discounts. Take advantage of this. Like if a supermarket has those cards, those vouchers, make sure you have one so that every time you can be accumulating points. When your points are redeemable, you redeem them. Also, in case there are discounts, take advantage of those times when there are flash sales, discounts in the nearby shopping centers. Buy in bulk at those times because it will save you, especially when students are going back to school. There are usually so many discounts, so I usually take advantage. Another thing is to cut unnecessary subscriptions. For example, if you are working, let's say you have a 8 to 5 job and you're living alone, and you have a DSTV, you have Wi-Fi and all those things. When do you get time to watch them? That's the question I asked myself. So you have to cut some of this unnecessary subscription. Prioritize what is important. Is it the Wi-Fi or the DSTV or the GoTV, you know? Prioritize the most important thing. Have it. The other subscriptions, do away with them because it's a waste of money. You're keeping yourself in a good lifestyle, an expensive lifestyle that you would have actually saved and done something better with that kind of money, you know. Another thing is to reduce unnecessary spending on energy. When I talk about energy, I mean electricity, because right now it has become so expensive. So most of the time, just try to use energy saving bulbs if you have to, and also switch off lights when you're not using them. Like those small things, those things are very, very important. I know you guys may think that you save nothing from that, but actually you save so much. Wale watu wacha radio tuikuwa on, you go to the market, such kind of things. You need to stop wasting money on bills that is money you could have actually spared. Maybe the units you're using in a month, you would have used in 2 months. So I always count those small things as very, very, very important to me. When it comes to saving, you need to keep on looking at how you can save more. In your mind, if you have a goal and you know by the end of this year I need to save this amount of money, then you keep on looking for opportunities to save money. So I always say that every time have a goal. At the beginning of every year, you guys see me posting my goals and resolutions for that year. It's because I want to have some focus. When you have a goal on the amount of money you want to save, then it makes you become focused and committed. So before you can even start saving, tell yourself, look at your potential, because we are different, you know, and see how much can you save in a year. Try to keep that as your goal. Try to push yourself. Every month, focus to save the amount of limit that you've put for yourself, and I believe you're going to see some changes. Always you need a budget before you can save. So you guys just create a budget first of all, and you can check that video I did on how to budget. I explained everything in details, how I do mine, and I hope it will be helpful to you guys. So that's all about my method. I hope you guys can share your methods in the comment section so that we can interact, so that I can get to know how you guys usually save your money. That's all about mine, and I'm hoping it was useful. I'm hoping it was beneficial to anyone that is looking out to save. Yeah, so I'm hoping you guys have liked this video by now. Please don't forget to like. I always tell you guys to like my videos after you watch them, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post a new video. Until next time, hoping to see you guys in the next one, and bye bye.